to give a rehash of where we are entering. What is going on?
We're entering
Charlie?
the lair of evil peoples.
Moth.
We made a
right?
plan. We made a plan to basically go straight to the heart by stealthily, quote unquote, going under.
Wait, what?
We are literally we're doing a very risky play, is the plan. But TLDR, we got to Zarshi space. Is that how you say it? Zarshi's space. And we got to their main place. I forget what it's called, the Citadel, right?
Yep.
And basically, we came up with a plan on how to get to the prince dude to get to him faster, essentially. So we're gonna send our troops to be a distraction while we go under the planet. It's not a planet, just like
It's a compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go basically dive under it and then go to the main point to try and infiltrate that way more quickly.
Yeah.
So to give you a little bit of context, Amy, because I can feel the wheels still desperately turning. So if you look at resources in Spelljammer, Jadali was able to give you all a map of the Imperial Citadel, which you can think of it like the Rock of Brawl. It's essentially a reclaimed asteroid type thing. Where you guys need to be is, or where y'all need to get to is around the head of the moth. She says there is nothing underneath the moth. The city's just on the top. So Booker she suggested landing at one of the docks and sneaking through the city because you can disappear into a city. Booker suggested going under the Citadel because there's not a whole lot of defenses there, and coming up and around to the palace into the temple, which are the head and the body. And you have to go under because both of those places are very heavily protected and fortified. And so that's where the danger comes in of if you get caught under the Citadel by, troops, or if you come around and you're unable to withstand the barrage from there's a word I'm looking for. Essentially the barrage from the palace in the temple. So it's risky, but it could manage to get y'all through a lot of things without having to deal with them. On the other hand, you could end up destroying your ship. So that's where the risk comes in.
We're a ladybug. Do we have legs? Can we crawl on the underside?
Theoretically, yes. You move faster when you are flying.
Oh.
But you do have a land movement capability. It's just very slow. So you have a relatively, slightly above average speed. You're unable to land in water. You can move slowly along land with a ladybug ship. Your main advantage is that ladybugs are more heavily armored than most ships that are of its size category.
Mm-hmm.
It has essentially the HP of a galleon, is what you'll get for having the ladybug.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Any last questions or clarifications anyone wants to go and deal with before we get started? Going once, going twice. Okay. So, the very end of last session, you all entered into Zarsha's space, and you saw in the distance the white star at the center that's glowing, but dimmer than other suns you have seen in various crystal spheres. Attached to the sun, stretching out across the space in between, and ending at the shining point of a temple, you see underneath it just a crystal-spired city sitting on a thin slice of an asteroid. And in and around the crystal spires and the space beyond, you see ships of all shapes and sizes, but the further out you get, the more and more they are definitively those crystal-winged astral moth ships that you know to be the military vessels. And you and your armada move closer and closer. There are really no planets or moons that you can see that, number one, are close to you, number two, capable of hiding your approach, with the Citadel essentially in orbit, roughly the same orbit as the furthest out planet of this system. So, imagine the Citadel being roughly like orbiting the same orbit as like Neptune in our solar system. You see the ships at first don't necessarily seem to notice, but the furthest out scouts, you see them fly and then do a very sharp turn back towards the Citadel and fly at top speed. And you all know they've spotted you. They're heading home to make the report. You have the option of either rushing in full force now or trying to form some sort of defensive line with the ships that you have. Remember, you have all the ships from Doomspace. You have the Last Breath, your Ladybug, and a Nautiloid.
Do we pick now?
Mm-hmm. What you gonna do?
Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
I feel like there's a song titled that on the Spelljammer album.
It's a pretty epic album.
So you immediately start flying after these ships, and you can hear the various clarion calls and creaking of ships behind you as your armada follows suit, each branching out, sails unfurling fully, and various groups and factions seeming to split off into their own individual fighting formations as they spread out behind you. And for those of you that care to look back and see what's following you, it is a mishmash of ships that, even for those of you that went to the academy and were trained on various types of ships, it's a little disconcerting, as you've never seen this variety of shapes and sizes and speeds and conditions all seeming to be united in a forward movement and a goal. They spread out behind, and as you rocket forward, you see that the astral moths seem to turn into their own formations, first slowly and almost haphazardly, as the information just starts to spread, and then quicker and quicker into proper fighting formations of 5 or 6 in a group. And you see a slightly larger astral moth coming out to meet the two that were flying towards the Citadel, the 2 spotters. And Shidali is on deck with all of you as you're approaching. And whoever is closest kind of hears her muttering under her breath. And that would be the Zarisha.
The what now?
Zarisha. Flagship. And she kind of like glances towards you, Trixie. The lead on attacking your planet.
Repeat that, it cut out for me.
It says the lead on attacking your planet.
Ah.
And Captain's a piece of work. And one of the major backers to my brother.
Why is that not surprising?
And she just... There's almost a little bit of a quirk of a smirk at that. But she manages to more or less keep that still unimpressed expression. Vale always did want there to be a military influence to the family. I'll do this. Ship. Captain. And she looks towards Booker and points at the ship. If you're worried about somebody coming after you when you try for the Citadel, that's your first concern.
Booker doesn't really react with any visible way, but he does say, "Are there any obvious weaknesses? Something we can exploit? Maybe?"
To the Zarisha? Not really. But and you can see her like looking out at the formations that the astral elves are making as they're heading towards you, trying to cut off most of the armada. And you realize that there is roughly 30 or 40 ships in total in this navy, at least that are here. She kind of is looking out over it. There may be a weakness in the Navy. Take out Vale. There's at least a good handful of ships that'll defect or give up at that point. Especially if they know I'm here. I may have been ousted, but there are still some that are loyal.
How do we get to him? More the merrier.
And she looks towards the Zarisha. Kill a commander.
Any weaknesses there?
Well, you can guarantee that they'll fight you if you lock in with them. Zarisha's more heavily armored than the others, but slower. Can't escape.
Hmm. So we get in close.
She nods. He'll more than likely be on the deck once you get in close. Needs to save face with his men.
Not that I disagree with this plan or anything, but wasn't the whole point to try and, like, get to the Citadel with the fighting going on? As a distraction?
Was. We'll just send the next best fighter to go deal with her. The Artuk.
Jadali just kind of looks, nods her head one way and the other. That'll work, but I don't know that they're going to be able to get the attention out about me.
Why not? Do you need to be there?
And she nods. If you can get me onto a Spelljammer chair on that ship, I can broadcast to the others telepathically.
But then that would also alert your brother.
Well, it may also mean that we have fewer astral moths to fight and deal with. Fewer chasing us. Fewer fighting your people.
Hmm. All right. What are we thinking, gang? I know what I'm thinking.
Please enlighten me what you're thinking.
Fuck this idea. Stick to the plan.
I'll be
This
honest.
is the cool idea.
I'm on the same boat here.
It's a cool idea, but our first plan was fine. Last minute
We could send a nautiloid.
heel turn. We could, but it, like, again, it wouldn't. Apparently, it's not going to matter because we won't have Jadali. Like, we need Jadali with us to do our first plan. We can't, why would we give up the element of surprise to send her off to do something to recruit people to fight when we could just fight and get in and get out fast, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
If only we had, like, a cell phone and a fucking PA system. Just to hook it up to another ship. Just have her broadcast while she's with us. but like have a ping off from somewhere else.
I have a thought, and I don't know if this will work at all. So this probably have a question for Shadali. But what the prince dude, is he like actively leading the charge from
He is he'll be at the Citadel. He'll be in the palace, not the temple.
Okay. So would there be a way to get Shadali, because wasn't there some kind of way for him to connect with them from the Citadel?
Yes. Fleet? So essentially you can think of it as the primary broadcasting point to communicate with the fleet is on the Citadel. The secondary place comes from the Zarisha out to the smaller ones. So what she's saying is essentially, like, she's suggesting if you get me to the Zarisha, like, her brother will know she is there, but she can broadcast to all the smaller ships and possibly get people to sway to your side or get them to stop fighting or whatever it may be. But she has to get to that secondary point. If she gets to the primary point, that's also possible, but that means that the fighting will have gone on for that long and you don't know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if she's going to have enough backers left at that point as well in her own navy.
Secondary thought for the first plan. We could hide Shadali and have her go straight to wherever this like PA system is for the Navy while we deal with the prince.
Wait. On the ship?
No, on the Citadel.
They're going to be the same place. You have to be in like the throne, essentially.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
My
my thought was essentially we be the distraction for Shadali, essentially, to get to the throne, was my thought.
I figured we were going to do that by virtue of fighting the brother while Shadali makes her way to the throne during the fight.
Okay.
So not really like a huge distraction, but technically a distraction.
Yeah. Because Shadali is kind of the ace up our sleeve a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because I think she's dead.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Stick to the plan.
Okay.
Did anyone else have quick thoughts before we verify this? Charlie, Cody, Amy, Mindy?
I don't have that many thoughts. In general.
Okay.
I think that this plan would be better overall for the big battle. So it matters more of, do we want to have more survivors, or do we want to speedrun and get to the prince as soon as possible?
Mm.
See, part of my thinking is that if we speedrun and get to the prince as soon as possible, we'll have more survivors because it's less time fighting. The longer the fight goes on, the worse our opportunity becomes.
We need the element of surprise, I feel.
Yeah, because we are outgunned. We're not outclassed, but we're outgunned.
Outnumbered, outplanned. Okay. Cody? Mandy?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
No, I'm good with the...
Yeah, Ori's...
Yeah, Ori's not been around long enough to know battle plans, so.
Bucket we ball!
Right, we're going in.
Sneaky plan it is.
Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan.
Hell yeah.
Give me a minute to find the pretty map. Because this map I did not have. Last chance for water and piss break.
No,
Well, I do that shit when we're going. Because I have a wireless headset. I can just run back to my desk. I'm good.
I'm gonna grab my dinner out of the oven, but I have my headset on.
Why?
You're making me nervous, so maybe I should go to the potty. Hold on.
I appreciate that I have all of these ship maps all of a sudden. That they are making me lose the maps I actually want in the middle of all the ship maps.
Rip.
Okay. Milo, get down.
No, Milo does what he wants.
He does. He does exactly what he wants. Come here, sweet boy. Look, I even brought an extra chair so you could have your chair.
That does nothing.
No.
It's not your chair. It is not your computer.
No. No. I wanted to specifically take it from you.
Unless you're Rolo, who just wants in Joe's lap. To scratch.
Yeah.
Double check this is appropriately sized. Yes, it is. But you've not heard Rolo fuss at you in a hot second.
Yeah, she's sleeping over by the window, which is
Aw.
unusual. She usually goes over there whenever it's like 11 p.m.
Eepy.
Eep girl.
Yeah, even though she woke up like an hour ago.
God, I wish that were me.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is in here? Forgive me,
I'm returned.
You have skipped a battle, thus I am adjusting. Back and I'm not putting that in there. You guys can just look on your own.
Yeah, I got that back stuff in my
You're welcome.
So, as you all continue rushing forward, I'm assuming that, Button is spelljamming, unless you would like Micken to spelljam.
Does he want to?
It is up to you. It would depend on whether Button wants to be in the spelljamming chair or on the ship or on deck in case something happens.
On deck.
Okay. So
Protect the Micken.
Oh, remember, we also have the thing where if you're on the ship, you can, like, control shit or whatever. Like, do spells through the ship.
True. Better for the wizard, honestly.
Micken is spelljamming. You are all on deck as you rush towards the other navy. Your own fleet backing you up. And Joe, as the captain, how would Booker have instructed Micken to handle the approach? It's very clear that the Ladybug is the flagship in the initial approach when they first saw.
I don't really know how to answer the question because I am not a ship pilot. Like, fast, I guess?
Would you tell him to, like, try to rush in directly and dip off to the side or swing wide? Or is there some idea that you think Booker would have?
I don't... It's like... What is the situation? Because, like, is there a reason to swing wide or go anywhere but, like, straight where we need to go?
If you go straight, you're going to go directly into the middle of the Astral Navy. You will meet the Zarshia head-on, is what going straight does.
No.
Oh,
okay,
I have
so
an idea.
the fleet is pointed at us and looking at us straight ahead.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
May I submit an idea to the council?
Go ahead.
Shoot.
Have Ladybug fast as fuck, right? Go straight to enemy, leading the charge, right? Right before we front lines meet and battle engage, we're gonna pull a Star Wars and we're gonna go straight upwards and bank up and around our own so that we'll be going to the back line, and then we'll be able to sneak away in the chaos.
Yeah, why don't we make it look like one of the other ships is in charge? Yeah.
Is there...
Fall back into our crew, into our fleet. And get lost.
is there like is there a role I could make to battle assess a good strategy? Because like I'm not a strategist. I can come up with cool things that are like really neat, but I have no idea if that is an effective strategy.
Honestly, same.
You have a card.
You can do a history.
History?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not particularly good at history, but I will give it a shot.
Hey, do I have guidance? Hold on, let me see. I can't remember. Yeah, guidance.
Head on the back. You got this.
Think brain. Do the things.
20 and 24. That is pretty good.
Yay.
I accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for guidance.
That would
You're
be what you would get
welcome.
with a actual nat 20. Excuse me. You know that the ladybug, again, its primary benefit is that it is more heavily armored. You have faster ships in your armada. You have heavier hitters in your armada. The ladybug is not going to outrun any of the standard astral moths. It might be able to outrun the Zartia.
Okay.
So you realize that while it's a little too late to hide the fact that the ladybug is, if not the lead, probably one of the leads from the enemy, that distracting the enemy is probably your best bet. Trying to get as many of them engaged in other things, or at least not looking the direction that you are going, is your best bet to try and slip around and through this number of enemies if you're trying to get through without fighting anybody.
Okay. So strategies that get us sneakily through. I mean, yeah, we could just drift to the back and then charge straight at them and then dip below and go around, like go underneath the fighting once it breaks out. Right?
Yeah, you can
Plan?
try that. Where's Jedi when you need him? Nobody wants to add any flavor to this?
Button will be passing out vomit bags.
That's also a good idea.
There is one for Megan. It's attached to the chair. Button installed a little arm, like a microphone arm.
Do you want
Maybe.
the ladybug in armored mode or in speed mode?
Oh,
God.
speed mode. It's got to be speed mode.
Oh god.
We got to go fast.
So essentially you can either close down its shell, which protects most of the ship's softer points and the people in, or you leave it open to have your sails be fully out, which means you go faster, but you're more likely to get hit.
We're more likely to get hit if we're faster?
You don't have a fucking armor dome over your top, yes.
But in the other one we go slower. We're gonna get shot up if we're slow, right?
The ship will, but you guys may not take any damage, and depending on how much damage goes to the ship, it may not break through the armor.
I'm sure this planet has faster ships than the Ladybug. I'm just throwing that out there.
The only
Because no matter
ship
how
in this
fast-
arsenal that is questionably slower is the Zarisha. All the rest of them are faster.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, somebody's gonna catch us, because even at fast speeds, we are a ladybug.
I mean, even still, even if they're faster than us, I still think it's better to be fast than slow. Because if we're slow, everybody catches us. If we're at least a little bit fast, then people who are out of position won't be able to catch us right away.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take one ship with us to act as a armor, like
A buffer?
to catch? Yeah.
A galleon or something?
Yeah,
Exactly,
Galleons
like,
are slow. Galleons are big
put-
ships.
We'll put a
Ah,
slower
true.
ship to take the hits that's got higher armor that will take some of the blunt while we skedaddle.
I'm just imagining, like, someone walking in someone's shadow, and then as the person stops, we zip away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or shoot Star Wars, like have the ladybug up under the bigger ship, and use the bigger ship to get in, and then when it's taking the hits, have the ladybug shoot off and
Attack.
run.
Stealth
Mhm.
bug.
Yeah,
That could work. I'm down with that.
Your three options for if you want escorts is you have bigger ships like a galleon or the nautiloid, which will take a lot more damage for you, but it'll be slower going with it until you leave it. There is roughly equivalent, which are going to be essentially, you can consider them like DPS ships, things like your squid ships and stuff, which can ram whatever gets close enough, but once they're entangled in a fight, they're entangled in a fight.
Mhm.
And then you have a couple of wasp ships, which are much faster and can like harass somebody, but they are also very fragile.
Okay. I think either take the big galleon and then we jump out in surprise, or we get 3 really fast ships that are lightweight, and whenever someone gets close to us, they each like fly off to engage that person. So we have like a little retinue, or we have like one big thing that we hide behind. Actually, wait. Going off of my previous logic, I think we should have a retinue. We gotta go fast. We're going fast. I vote for three ship like retinue that we can have, and then if people start to come in and engage us, then each ship from our retinue will break off to fight.
This really is like Star Wars. Just saying.
Mhm.
Told you had a naval battle coming up.
Mm-hmm. God, my brain needs an oil change.
All that's missing is the pew 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 pew.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of how much attention are we going to attract if we're the biggest thing, and they already know that we're sort of important at least.
So, anybody disagree with the take a couple of wasp ships and try to outrun everything?
I kind of do.
So curious. So Amy, you kind of just said that like they know that this so they're aware that the ladybug ship is like important. So why wouldn't we just all transfer quickly to another ship and take that ship?
I was gonna ask how many people can fit in a wasp. To be honest.
I think.
Yeah, you wouldn't be
One.
able to get everybody onto a wasp.
Yeah.
How many wasps do we need?
I was gonna
to
say,
get it?
what about a couple wasps?
Let me double check.
And what if
That
one
would be
person
fun.
was pocket-sized?
I will say, if we take different ships, then if one of them gets shot, we don't have enough seats to get back. And the more targets we make, the more opportunities we have to get shot. If we make more targets, then more bullets will try to hit us.
And also, if one of you gets shot, whoever is on that ship is stuck in that fight for however long that takes, and you may not end up on the Citadel.
Yeah.
But if you're focus firing the ladybug, a couple
yeah.
of wasps stand a better chance
Yeah.
than the one unique ship
That they think is leading.
that they exactly.
A wasp ship can take 4 crew, 1 has to be a Spelljammer.
So you guys thinking of a bait and switch?
Yeah.
I
I like
I'm just
this idea.
thinking from a realistic standpoint. If there is one unique ship in a battalion, I feel like that one is going to be focused. Like, I don't know, like, but like that would be my thought, is like staying in the only ladybug ship in this entire fleet seems like a bad idea.
I see your point, but I raise you the fact that if they're going to try to focus the ladybug, that means they're ignoring the bulk of our forces, which are going to shoot them. They can't ignore the people who are shooting at them. We're running away. So they're going to try shooting us while everyone else is shooting at them. They're going to lose.
But isn't our point to
It's a stealth mission,
surprise
isn't
the
it?
Citadel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if the ladybug ship is headed to the Citadel, like all the other ships can notify who's ever at the Citadel, hey,
Then
you know what I'm saying?
then the whole thing is kind of fraught because, like, if they focus the ladybug and the ladybug isn't trying to get away, then it will get shot down if it's in the fight while we get away in wasps.
But we maintain the element of surprise that way.
I don't know. This feels over-engineered. I don't entirely agree.
Yeah. I'm more worried about the wasps are a lot more fragile, and even if they do, like, some decide to try and take out the escort, that would just make this a lot more complicated and drawn out, splitting the party up.
Yeah, because not even the whole party can fit on one wasp.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we would need 2 minimum. But we also have Jadali.
Yeah. That's 8 people.
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to a vote. 2 ships, 2 wasps, or 1 ladybug.
Cody?
I vote ladybug.
Ladybug for me, too.
Wasp.
Cody?
2 and 1.
I abstain.
No.
What?
That's 3 ladybug.
What?
Abstaining a vote means you vote for the majority.
Charles?
Wasp.
Mandy?
Mandy?
All right, so explain it to me again. If we're going in the ladybug, what's going with us?
No, all of us. What do you mean?
No, I'm saying what are ships coming with the ladybug as a deterrent?
Yeah. So the thought right now is we have the ladybug and 3 wasp ships as like an escort. And then when people try to fight the ladybug, the wasp ships break off to take them on and just like get them off of us.
Okay.
And then the suggestion was, why don't we just get off of the ladybug, get onto 2 different wasp ships and fly in, because nobody's going to pay attention to the wasp ships because the ladybug is the only ladybug.
Okay, so, but if the plan is to take the wasps, are they still the 3 wasps and the ladybug, and we're just in 2 of the wasp ships? Like, that's what I'm doing.
From my
No.
understanding, it's 2
No.
wasp ships that completely break off from the ladybug ahead of
Yeah.
time, and just like
Yeah,
circle
that's
around
what I
the
was-
outside.
That's also my understanding.
I guess ladybug and
Ladybug takes it.
Yep, ladybug takes it then. So, Ladybug 3 wasp ships. Heading into this. So, you all fly in and at first allow some of the larger ships to get ahead and to start engaging. Those that have a longer reach, those that have spelljammers with longer range arcane items and magics to start firing out at the Astral Moth, and you see almost immediately that the Astral Moths are very well trained. Even as they're getting shot at, and mangonels and spells and everything else is being thrown at them, that they break apart from formation, and as soon as the danger is clear, re-enter their formation, or maybe just alter it slightly. But they all start to branch out and break off, and those of you that have some experience or training within the naval battles of Spelljammers see that they are already starting to try and divide the pack, essentially. They are meeting the larger ships and pushing them away and separating them from each other so that they cannot provide aid. Of course, that leaves medium and small ships to dart in and out and amongst the battle as it starts in earnest. And you take your Ladybug ship with 3 Wasp ships. And do you go around to the side, kind of the edges of the battle, or you try to bulldoze your way through?
Below, right?
It's gonna be below.
Below. So you try to dive down below the mass of the battle. It's not really able to go all the way below without getting yourself way out of the way of where you're headed. Around the skirts of the outskirts of the orb, essentially, that is starting to form of this Spelljammer battle. And let's see, what are your stats, Micken, since you are flying? That's a nat 20 on Micken. Good boy.
Hey!
Let's go!
Good boy.
Yeah, Micken.
He doesn't want to die.
You were built for this.
He is pushing the Ladybug about as fast as you have ever seen the ship fly. And it is not fully keeping pace with the Wasp ships, but damn it if it's not close. You hear the boards and ropes of the ship creaking. You see the sail wings are fully unfurled and as wide as they can be. And Booker, you have been on the ship the longest of anybody else. There's this almost thrill and exhilaration that kind of races down your spine of this is what this Ladybug is capable of, what it needs to be. There's almost a little hint of pride, I imagine, in this ship that you've called home for so long. And as you go around the outskirts of this battle, somebody roll me a d6.
Any takers?
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
Oh, there's an iris.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
I thought I was unmuted. I'm sorry.
What a power move.
So you are flying around the outskirts of this battle. You hear, before you even see, an explosion ahead, above. And you look up and see that one of your ships has entered into a fray, seems to be fighting 2 astral moths at the same time. And whoever is flying it, whatever Spelljammer is inside, seems to have a penchant for electricity. As a massive bright blue electrical arc arches out from the front of the squid ship and hits the astral moth in front of it, and you hear the cracking and shattering of the crystal wings before there's something that explodes inside, and a massive energy burst ricochets out from it right as you're going past and underneath, and I need everybody to make a con save.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna use. I have inspiration marked on my sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use inspiration. Thank God.
That's 13. I rolled very averagely.
So, Iris, so Trixie, and Button. As this energy bursts out, and also one of your ships. There we go. As this energy bursts out in a sphere from this astral moth around it. You hear it, you see it, you can see the colors swirling in wild space and almost rippling like water with this sphere, and then you feel it a moment later as just concussive sound hits your ship and hits these wasps around it. And Trixie and Button, you both are knocked off of your feet, flat onto the deck. All the wind knocked out of you as you are just overwhelmed by it. All the rest of you, your ears are ringing and you hunch over, trying to keep upright and resist the force that you feel. One of the wasp ships that is in escort to you kind of falls back for a moment. All of the crew on it shouting and talking back and forth, and you see one seems to be in a similar situation to Trixie and Button on their deck, kind of laid out over the top of their mangonel pile, a little dazed. The ship's not down, the ship's not out, but it has fallen back a bit. And as you all are recovering, an astral moth breaks from the formation that it was in, spotting this grouping of ships, and flies towards all of you. And that wasp that was knocked back a little bit surges forward to intercept, and you can see it manage to stop the ship coming towards you, but one of its wings, its sail, crippled in the effort as a battle is engaged in. You're down one wasp ship. And you look out over the battle above you and around you, and you see already the floating boards and metal and people of ships slowly but surely being damaged and taken out. Now, Joe will use yours as the next roll. I need perception checks from everybody on deck. So As everybody except Micken.
Fuck, math. What's 14 plus 9? 23?
Yes.
Thank you.
As you are continuing forward and you see the Citadel getting closer but still so far out of reach, Ori, you look up, and Trixie, you also look up, and you see something bright and red heading your direction and going brighter and redder and bigger. It's a fireball.
Evasive maneuvers!
Dodge!
Barrel roll.
I'll send a telepathic link to Micken. Get close enough. Yeah. Be like, hey, fireball incoming! Dodge!
This direction.
You see the fireball and both start warning everybody. Micken will attempt to evade.
You got counterspelled, my dude.
Remember, going fast in a Spelljammer also requires
Yeah.
using spell slots.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using a few things right now himself already.
He's got a lot. He's a wizard.
He does have a good handful, but he's got to use them to go fast.
Man.
That's a roll of a 5 before anything else. That's not gonna do anything for him. Barrel rolling is not the ladybug specialty, it seems.
We close the shell.
Not fast enough.
Fuck.
See,
Can I just baseball swing the fireball somewhere else?
you do have an item.
Do we?
I believe Amy has an item. That
I
might
do?
work.
Fuck. Hold on. Is it something you just gave me?
Yep. You might work.
Would that help? Or would that make it worse?
If you're creative.
Shit. Yeah, that sure as fuck isn't gonna...
For context, Amy has an item because everybody knows what everybody's items are. She got the Button has the map brooch, but also got a wand that can either attract magic to attack Button or delay magic for a turn, essentially. But the delay magic would not work here. Attract magic would. If you're creative. It would send the fireball right towards Button.
Can I jump off the ship?
I have something I can help here. Okay, Amy. Button doesn't need to breathe, right?
No, they don't.
Okay. So, the item Trixie got, she can either throw or bring someone to her within 60 feet with her magic gauntlets. So jump off the ship.
This is... Thank God Button's a fucking robot, man. You know what? They were given a directive to take care of the people around them, and goddamn it, that's what they're gonna fucking do. It's, fuck, I know too much about things like this. It's like the okay. Button is now inventing I forgot the name for it, but the anti-missile things. You know what I'm talking about, Z. I know you know what I'm talking about. I got to see them in person. But Button is now new defensive technology. They see this in the distance, like, oh, that's not good. Fun fact, fire burns people. Fire also burns wood. A lot of fire can burn metal. However, that takes a lot more. I might survive. Worth the risk. End assessment. They're going to yeet themselves off and activate wand.
Okay, you're taking a fireball to the face, my friend.
I'm gonna mushroom up if I can. If I'm given warning from the peoples.
Yeah, you get one activation, one thing.
Okay, understood. I have to just take this to the face, huh?
That's not as bad as it could be. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, heard.
You will take 26 to the face.
Okay, understood.
So you see Button run to the side, and I imagine doesn't even die, like jump over the railing, just dives through a hole in the railing. And you see a wand, a glint of purple magic off of it as the ladybug flies forward, and you see, as you're looking up at the fireball, it suddenly curve and alter direction and miss the ladybug completely, and instead you see it hit Button directly. And then Trixie
Dink.
rushes forward, the gloves that she just got glowing with magic, and yanking Button through space, still smoldering, back onto the ship. A couple of mushrooms that were growing out of Button's hat and off their cloak. Now charcoal. The grass and leaves singed. How you doing, Button?
I imagine the ends of their cloak are also like little tattered. The tip of their hat has some new holes in it. See Toad's eye peeking out. Button just gonna get back onto the ship, dust himself off. 2 thumbs up. They're okay.
Nice save, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nod. Thank you. And thank you for the retrieval. I am not fast.
So, I will need 2 more d6 rolls. Not from Iris, not from Joe.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can. You just
I'll
took a
do it.
fireball to the face. Oh,
Yes.
Amy?
oh, right, 2 more. I also got 1. Do we need to roll again?
Yes.
Yeah, roll again.
Okay. That's a 4.
Okay. So you are continuing forward. Joe and Iris, since you've already done this, roll me custom rolls, d30s.
D30.
Mm-hmm.
18.
10.
You're still rocketing forward, 2 wasp ships still flying in your retinue. You trying to hack Button off and stomp out a couple of the embers that are still glowing in their cloak. You look up and you can see that your armada has managed to break through at least one of the Star Moth formations. Probably at least 5, 6 ships there that, well, not destroyed, disabled at the very least, though half of them are in close combat. As you're scanning, trying to keep track of how your troops are doing, you see that a couple of your squid ships are also disabled, and at least half of your scorpions as well. People are alive, kicking. You see magic going back and forth. You can see the ranged weaponry firing, but you also see their sails broken off and floating away into the distance. And as you're taking stock of that, let me see here. None of you are quite prepared as you all hear a thunk hit the very back of the ladybug. And you immediately hear Starbow start grumbling and shouting. And you look back and you see that there is an astral elf warrior that has landed.
Oh no.
Oh, landed
On the
might
ship?
be a strong word. He's clinging to the back railing, likely tossed off of another ship, and happening to hit yours on the way through space. So he's clambering up and over the railing. What do you do?
Yep.
Man.
Turn on the rear windshield wiper.
I think that's just Starbow.
Do you let Starbow handle it? He will.
Let Starbow handle it for now. Starbow can handle one guy.
Here's a treat for violence.
You all kind of turn and are staring for a moment. And when nobody immediately moves, you see Starbow turn, look down at the pile of mangonel stones in front of him, look at all of you again, picks up one like he's about to get in trouble. When nobody stops him, before you have any chance to react beyond that, he just whips around faster than you thought he would and throws in one smooth motion, connecting right with this astral elf's chest as he starts to stand up. And he is once again flying through space.
Mangonels are like huge, right?
Yep. He's probably dead. But he's off the ship, so not your problem.
No.
And as you all are taking in that movement and that motion and watching as Starbow is not partying, but you can see just a smugness to his expression as he turns back forward, picking up another mangonel stone and just keeping it tucked up close to him. You all hear shoutings from one of your wasp ships as an astral moth breaks through the line, down in front, seemingly trying to fly directly head-on towards the ladybug. And both of the wasp ships start firing their own ballista, trying to hit and help clear the way. Would somebody like to give me an attack roll? A d20 plus 5 for your ballista. Or your, is it ballista? Yeah, ballista. Who would be manning your big bow?
I'm even taller.
Any takers?
I will not make this mistake again. Go ahead.
D20 plus 5?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. 14.
Why is it freaking out? I pulled up the stat block I already had pulled up. And it's now just saying loading. The fuck? Here we go. Alright. You hit that straight on. Give me 2d12.
Okay. 16.
Okay. Let me see theirs. That's a 20-something. That'll also be enough. Give me a 2d10 so I can roll this other one as well.
2d10. 9.
So you see the wasp ship start firing, and Booker, you're up by the ballista and decide to fire it as well. You see all 3 of the weapons hit straight on to this astromoth ahead of you. And the wasp ships seem to have been working in tandem as you see one of its crystal wings shatter. And it kind of starts to lilt and spin and turn. And you look up, and one of the wasp ships that's hovering above you, you see the Spelljammer that's sitting in a chair actually attached to the back of the ship. Gives you a little 2-finger salute and peels off to deal with that astromoth. And you look ahead again as you're reloading your ballista, and you see the crystal silvery spires of the Citadel growing closer and closer. The pale, almost marble stone of the asteroid underneath starting to get a little clearer, and you can see that though there's no buildings there seem to be a series of outcroppings underneath. It's not smooth and round as Brawl seems to look from a distance. It seems more jagged and canyons and valleys and peaks. I will need one last d6, Cody or Charlie.
I rolled the first for tonight.
That was for something else. Six. Behind you, you hear another explosion and look back and see that 2 ships have rammed directly into each other and seem to be, well, one ship now. As the crews start to fight, squid ship and an astral moth clashing, another ship breaks out over the top, and you realize it's one of your scorpions that is now flying behind you, following the path, but a little slower. And as you look ahead again towards the Citadel, you see first what looks to be just a series of silvery lines flying, moving around, twisting and turning in the air. As you get closer, you get clearer, you realize those aren't just lines. Those are dragons. 7 young solar dragons take off from the Citadel and start flying towards the fight, spreading out and moving in different directions. One of them flying in your general direction. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Go faster.
You ask nicely, Micken, to go faster and shout to him, "There's a dragon incoming." And while the ship seemed magnificent and proud as it started this, you can almost, well, you're almost convinced that you feel Micken's fear through the very boards of the ship under your feet. And you can feel, those of you magically inclined, the surge of magic he tries to push through the ship. But physics itself doesn't let you go much faster. The Wasp ship that's with you breaks off going ahead, trying to tangle with the dragon. And you can see that the dragon makes very quick work of it. Claws shredding the sails, massive jaws opening and unleashing fire onto the deck, leaving the entire thing burning and falling away into wild space. The scorpion behind you alters its flight path, moving up higher, using the massive ballista attached to its claws to start firing at the dragon. Most of the bolts missing completely, as that dragon has a maneuverability you've not seen before. Not in wild space, at least. As it twists and turns through the air, avoiding most of the bolts, catching a few on its shoulders and forelegs. And it gets closer and closer. Is there anything any of you would like to say? RP moment.
Are you asking for our last words?
Not quite. But tell me where all your characters' heads are. You're very close to the Citadel. And your goal is within reach, but Well, you were warned that there were solar dragons.
Booker has kind of achieved like a zen-like focus. If he sees the young solar dragon approaching, and he will simply reach into his coat and draw 2 daggers.
Trixie?
Trixie, I think, has a bit mix of awe and fear. Because she thinks it's really majestic and beautiful. But it's also there to kill them. And in sort of kind of a, like, excited yet, you know, that slight delusionalness you get when you're a little too afraid? She gets kind of that vibe, and she's like, oh, this is gonna be one heck of a story, is what she's thinking as she kind of prepares her meteor hammer.
Finn. Finn praying for his life.
No.
Aww.
Aww.
Oh.
Koya.
I think similarly to Booker, Koya has like this moment of zen. Because Koya already lost everything like to this empire. There is no worse for her.
Ori.
Similar to everyone, but like grabbing her amulet and kind of whispering under her breath, like, I know this wasn't the reason, and gets ready, readies, I guess, cone of cold, if it gets close enough.
Button.
I feel like Button's kind of short-circuiting a little bit. Because usually when there's a problem, okay, I need to find the answer. And they've gone through like their catalog of everything that they have here. Everything that they have, everything that the whole ship has, of what they know of the crew. And they're just not coming up with the answer for this solution here. And as they look at the dragon take care of that ship, and turn their sights on the other one, and they're gone too, I think Button's realizing that, oh, they don't want any of the people around them to die. Their stories aren't done yet. Button has so much to write about them still. It can't end here. So they just keep looking for the answer, and they still can't find one. So they're kind of in this, like, soft lock.
As you get closer and closer to the dragon, Booker, you're more towards the front of the ladybug, so you've been manning that ballista.
I imagined Booker, when he was not manning the ballista, to be standing at the prow of the ship with his coat just like going mental with the the solar winds.
You feel a presence coming up behind you, and the rest of you can see her as Jadali slowly walks from the lower deck up the stairs onto the upper deck and then towards the prow of the ship. And Booker, you kind of turn and look over your shoulder. You see that she's standing behind you, just staring at this dragon. And she looks towards you, and there's a little nod. And then she actually kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and starts pulling you back.
He turns to look at her.
You turn out of the way. She steps back, and you see as she steps forward. And as she does so, you see her reaching in and sliding that ring onto her finger. And she stands right at the prow. And the dragon gets closer and closer. And when it is close enough that you know, Booker, you've never had to fight an astral dragon, solar dragon, but you know it's within range to start burning your ship. She raises a hand, and you see it's the hand with that ring on. And all of you are blinded as a flash of light shoots out from that ring in every direction. And the moment that your vision starts to clear, you see the solar dragon adjusts his course just slightly and flies directly over the ladybug, close enough that you swear you can reach out and touch its underbelly, as instead it turns to attack the scorpion behind. She slowly turns, watching it go, and she looks towards you, Booker. They won't attack any who wear the ring.
Booker almost looks disappointed. He was so prepared, staring death in the face, ready to fight. And he had accepted, like, I'm gonna do this. And then it didn't happen. But he remembers that he has other things he needs to accomplish. So he looks down at the ring and he looks up to Jadali and he nods once. Doesn't really know what to say to her. But he is at least appreciative of the fact that she's here so that they can survive.
Man, I was hoping for an epic fight. Thank you, I guess. As you turn, watching the dragon start to shred the scorpion behind it. You look out to the fleet, and you see that though the battle likely was even, perhaps even in your favor, with the likes of the Nautiloid and the Last Breath, the entry of the dragons has started to turn the tides against your armada. As they start to make quick work of whatever ship might be in their way. But you continue on towards the Citadel. breaking out from the back of the space battle. And you get a quick glimpse of the docks as you start to dive under the Citadel proper. And you see that all of the docks are almost empty at this point. Very few ships on either end. Both the military and the civilian. And you dive under the Citadel into the shadow of the Zarshian Empire. And with that, I need to take a quick break to go get myself some water.
This break.
10 minutes.
Hello.
I'm back. The dog
Welcome back.
demanded cuddles. So
Mm,
I had to give
hi.
cuddles. Are you dying, Amy?
Hmm?
Are you dying?
No, I'm here.
I heard Amanda, I heard a name, I heard a Joe, Iris,
Hello.
Charlie,
Hello.
Cody.
I'm here.
Okay. Just double check. Are we good to keep going for a bit? Not hearing any no's, so we're gonna keep going.
I might tap out soon, but feel free to go on without me.
So, as you are flying under the Citadel, you duck and weave, and Micken keeps you close into the valleys and crevices of the Citadel, starting to move a little bit more slowly, a little more carefully. And like Jadali said, there's no reinforcements, no traps or weapons that you can find under. As you start to swing up and around towards the head, seeing first that light that stretches from the temple all the way to the star at the center of the system. You follow it, knowing that's where the head is going to be. You all hear noise growing louder and louder as you swing under and around. It's the sound of people, crowds. Are you trying to get around and over the head or towards like one of these shoulder areas, Joe?
Towards the head is where we need to be. So directly on top of the head.
You swing up and over the edge of the Citadel, come into view of the Temple of Light. You can see that it is not necessarily even a full building once you get a view of the side. Seems to stand as a series of smaller, almost, why did I just forget the fucking term for it? Obelisks, there we go. Smaller, almost triangular obelisks that form into a star, maybe even snowflake pattern when looking at it from above or below. Openings in each side or in between each obelisk, letting you see into the temple area, and you can see a beam of light go from the ground all the way up the middle to the crystal at the top, which then arcs out towards the star beyond. And you see crowds have encircled this temple in every direction. And you catch just the briefest glimpse of figures in the very center on the raised dais where the light touches the ground before you start to get bombarded. Magic and mangonel and ballista arcing out to hit and fire at the ladybug. as it is entered into range and into sightline of the temple's defenses, surrounding it at the very edge of the head and the towers of the palace beyond it. And I have quite a few things to roll here. Give me a moment. Oh, but 3 of those hit. And let me double check your ladybug stats. You're starting at 275 because it is not armored right now. You are hit by magic and ballista and mangonel, one after another. You hear the ceramic plating of the armor on the sides and underneath the ladybug start to crack and give way. And the boards underneath your feet start to bend and twist as you take 150 damage out of 275.
Oof.
And crowds turn in your direction, people shouting and screaming, some seeming to run away, some seeming to run towards. What are you doing?
Well, we're over the place we need to be, right?
If you look at the place that or the map that I shared in resources of the Temple of Light, the big circle on level 1 that's supposed to be the ground, you've come up over the corner, kind of where it says buttress.
Gotcha.
So you're flying just past the line of the land. You can land if you would like. You can do something else if you would like.
Yeah. Mick can take us down.
So do you want him to also try to armor the ladybug as it lands?
No. I think just going faster, we fly down fast, everyone gets off, and then he flies away.
Okay, so we're jumping with, lead me to feather fall and let's just jump out? What are we doing? Are we getting shot at?
That'd be smart.
Mm-hmm.
That would be even better if we could all leap over the edge and feather fall down.
Yeah, because we're at 125 ship HP. We can't really take another hit like that.
We won't.
So, yeah. All the PCs get featherfall. Can you featherfall that many people?
How many feather falls does feather fall cover? Let's see.
Koya
How many
and
feathers
Trixie
fall?
should be okay because they can fly / float.
It says...
So it is
choose up to 5 falling creatures within range. So they have to be within 60 feet of me.
You should be good then, because you're taking Finn and Button and Booker and Ori and Jadali.
Jadali should have Astral Step, right?
If you want her to use it, she can only do that for so many times.
I believe it's 3 times a day. I don't know.
Can she reach the bottom?
There's a 30, 60 foot range. I feel like we're above that.
Yeah, you're past 30.
They just better be part of the feather fall, and those that can fly.
Yeah.
Abandoned ship. Micken. See you at your wedding, buddy.
They can survive.
I mean, yeah,
Survive.
if he armors it on the way out, maybe he could be alright.
It'll be fine.
You all run off the edge of the ship, flying or falling as you may, and the ship continues to rocket past. The moment all of you clear it, it does a very abrupt about face as Micken dives back underneath the Citadel and disappears. The last thing you hear is the creaking of the wings and the boards of the ship, and the little shout of Starbow, who's been having a great time thus far. He's on a roller coaster. You all land at the edge of the Citadel and start running towards it, I assume?
Yes.
Let go.
It would be nonsense to not do that.
Here, I don't think I have showed you.
Ooh.
Citadel.
Space laser.
Whoa. It's so pretty. Why they gotta be evil?
Because that's the way sci-fi fantasy works. If it's pretty, it's
Fuck.
cool.
Heard.
You all start running. Over here. And drop you all onto the map.
Where are we dropping?
Where they drop
Found me.
the fields.
Killing fields.
I appreciate the token sizes being different so much.
Let me see what we have here. Because I did not appropriately do this. So that y'all get the full understanding, kind of like the walls and shit that you're dealing with. The bigger triangles, like here and here, those are the larger obelisk points. They go all the way to the top. These seem to be support buttresses. They kind of arc up about halfway to help hold the temple upright, but don't go all the way to the top. So like these, you cannot move through. These are solid walls. The circle is kind of an incline ramp up to the main floor. And then there is a dais here that has the beam of light, and on the other side over here, the throne facing towards the city. As you're running towards the Citadel, you all notice something odd. So you see that beam of light streaking up through the center, and your gaze follows it up. You see a body floating in the air in the beam of light, hanging there. Below it, on either side, you can just make out figures in fancy, extravagant robes you almost immediately peg as some sort of priests or advisors that are turning your way, looking at you. Guards and warriors stand largely inside the temple. A few of the what you assume to be lower ranking soldiers in amongst the crowds, though most of them have now turned their attention your way. So you've landed and begun to run closer to the temple. Some of them directing crowds of civilians away, trying to usher them away from what you realize is the coronation of Prince Zelith. Are you running head on, or are you going to try and do something? Can't see Zelith from where you are.
Oh, is this where we say I object?
Bum rush. We're still on Blitzkrieg strat.
Okay, let's start the bum rush. Get in your what you assume to be your running order where you are. Spread out how you would see fit.
I'm definitely not in the front.
Trying their fucking best to keep up, man.
Would you like a ride?
Yes.
Okay.
Football carry button until you get close enough.
Yep. Eat the button.
I assume we're gonna put the princess between us all.
Yeah, keep her safe.
Almost like we're Royal Guard or something.
We should all get matching suits.
Get down, Mr. President.
It's a hostile takeover.
So you rush towards the temple. We're gonna do this. There it is. Everybody roll me your initiatives. And I will insert a handful of guard things in between each person's turn for now. So you can see there's too many for me to go through right now.
These sound effects are going mental right now. Nobody's even moved yet, and there's already death.
That's all the civilians panicking.
Mm-hmm.
We're just that intimidating, guys. Oh, Finn.
I feel like that's fine with
Trixie.
Finn.
Trixie.
I could use inspiration if you think I should.
No.
You bum rush forward. Ori, you have a chance to do something. What would you like to do?
I hate going first.
That's the best time to throw a fireball.
That
I
is
didn't
true.
pull those because we said that the dragons needed cold damage, so I don't have any fireballs.
Cold ball.
I am
Yeah, I have
shocked you didn't
that.
have any fireballs.
Can I ask something?
Mm-hmm.
This might be an asshole, but in the party, I think it was Liliana who had it at the time, had that item that could change the damage of spells.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be in the party loot?
That specifically turned things into lightning. It can be in the party loot, but she didn't have a fireball. She just had something that would change damage. You could cast it through, and it would turn the damage into lightning damage.
Okay. Well, I tried.
Fair enough. Fair try.
Good try. Very good try.
I don't know. Like, I don't even know. Like, what are, like...
Kill this guy. That's the objective.
Which one? I can't
Way over
see.
here.
How am I supposed to get way over there?
If you can, like, occupy some people that might try and stop us on our way there.
Fly, haste, damage people.
Alright, Big B's
buff.
hand and smash.
That'll work.
Ooh, hell yeah. God damn.
How far can it reach out? 120,
Is that a-
yeah.
Is that 120? Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, I could technically get, like... Are these all, like, enemies and not, like, civilians, correct?
Yeah, the ones that I have put on the map are the enemies. There are a lot of civilians, but that would be going to be too much.
Alright. Since 120 feet, Big B is going, like, over here and, like, just going ahead for smashing the ones in the middle. I think that's 118. Yeah, 118, so.
Alright. So. That is doing. Clenched fist? So
Yeah,
the
like, I'm
melee
just, like,
spell
whole
attack.
smashed.
So, roll me your spell attack real fast.
Like a 20 plus 8.
Yes.
Okay, plus 8.
That'll hit him.
26. I can't do math. And then it was
8 for 20 damage. Yes.
yeah, force damage. Reckon.
Is that your turn?
And let me see what are bonus sections. Probably
also
not
move.
anything really. I am going to stay moving with the princess. So I don't want to get too far ahead, but I'm just...
Is that it?
Yeah, just when I'm just moving along with her, so whenever she moves, I don't know what number she's moving on. Or is she on this thing?
Tail end.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll move a little bit.
Actually, hold on. I'm doing this in between. So you start running through. There's a giant hand. Is there anything special about this hand, Andy?
Yeah, it's made out of like the same like kind of blue looking crystals that are on Ori's like body. It's made out of that same kind of like asteroid, whatever it is that makes up Ori.
This hand materializes partway between your group and the crowd of astral elves and picks out one of the warriors inside the temple, curls into a fist, and just comes hammering down on top of them. And as it does so, you hear the sound of creaking metal and a yell as he is hit and injured, and that act of violence sends a good number of these guys just surging forward and closer. And some of those that are closer towards you than towards whatever was going on inside, at the very least. You see them pull bows from their backs. Bows themselves seemingly made from that same crystal that you see in the astral moth's wings. And you see them knock arrows and shoot. And I'm gonna say, I'll have to fucking shut that guy up. I don't like that one.
Hi, quieter.
Booker does a 21 hit.
It does.
Koya does an 18 hit. Charles?
Yes, this.
Trixie does a 19 hit.
It does not.
And who else can I pick out? Fuck it. Button, because you're under the arm.
The answer is yes.
Does a 15 hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're taking 8 plus this. 13 damage, Koya. 10 damage, Booker. Oh, you are so lucky. Of course, you're not also lucky because you're the highest HP in this fucking group, but 5 damage. Button.
Oh. To be fair, you say that. Button is at half.
From the fireball.
Could have healed. You could have done something while you were flying through space.
I didn't really know how much time we had, to be honest. Could I have casted a mending?
Yes, you could have casted a mending.
God bless. Thank you.
Probably could have gotten at least 3 off in between everything. Especially since you were letting, like, Starbound fend for himself.
That was therapy for him.
Booker, you're up. These guys have shot at you. It successfully hit you at least once.
Okay. Booker is going to... There's still a bunch of people, right? Is this like difficult terrain or no?
It is difficult terrain until you get to here, roughly. Because this is a rocky slope that you're going up.
So I can't reach them.
Not easily, no. They also can't get much closer to you without issue.
Well, they can shoot me, and I can throw a dagger at them, but that's boring. So I'm going to cast Haste.
Hate it.
We're going fast. Booker will haste himself, daggers drawn, and he will, before he charges forward, he will yell out to everyone. Well, never mind. He'll just yell out to everyone to charge, and he is going to run up with double his speed now. He can make it there through the difficult terrain, and he can get to this guy. And then he'll attack. Only twice, because he doesn't have his normal attack action. But he's going to attack with the new Psy Blade, because it's new and shiny. 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm. 26 will definitely hit.
And that's going to be 8 damage. And I'm not going to make him do the save. We don't need that. And then Booker will, with the other attack, his bonus action, he'll swing the Blood Drinker, which is a 14 get there?
It will not.
Oh. Well, sad. Then that is Booker's turn.
And I'm just going to shuffle some of these because nobody else is close enough right now. So, Koya, what are you doing? Charles.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
Oh, I hate this mic. Okay. Moving 30 feet with fly. Draw a glaive. Give self temp HP. That is my turn.
Okay. Keep doing things. Button, you're tucked under an arm. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Mushroom time.
Mushroom time. Anything else you'd like to do?
Can I be deployed?
You can hold a single action for if Trixie throws you.
Yeah. We're developing the weirdest fucking strategy.
It's the go-to.
Let me go ahead and put these bars up. There we go.
Trixie.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
hold on. Sorry. No action hold'll. Action to mushroom up, bonus action shillelagh.
So don't necessarily throw the button unless you think you should.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free, it will get them closer. They have short legs.
I mean, you can
No,
throw
don't
them
worry. I
up
won't throw
here.
you.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna throw them. I was gonna drop them.
You have permission to throw the cryptid. Why would you not throw the cryptid?
Because airdrops are fun.
Stealth bomber Trixie.
But yeah, Trixie's gonna fly over
Drop
here.
button on one of them.
Yep, fly overhead, drop one here, and then stop. I'm assuming that is her action and her movement. So bonus action, she's going to get into her astral arm form, which will be. Oh, I forget the DC. Where is it?
16, I think.
I believe it is.
Neither one of them pass.
Okay, and I think it's 2d6 damage they take. Class feature. Class features. It's 17 now, actually, and it is 2d6.
Okay, roll your damage. And, did you drop button behind them or onto somebody?
On this one.
Roll me a d6 button.
Hell yeah. Oh wait, I have mushroom dice that you got me. There's a 6!
Hey.
Okay.
Unk.
As you are dropping button in and it's landing on the ground, you see one of the priests up on the dais turn, look at you, and start walking a little closer. He's not rushing forward like the warriors are, but you can see him turn, and you see just a faint glow on him. You're not sure what it is, but you're pretty sure there is some sort of magic that he has. And he just lifts his chin in your direction. And you hear his voice ringing out. Who dares to interrupt the coronation of King Xarxus? That's all that comes from him for the moment, Finn.
Dash. End.
Okay. And see this other priest kind of walk around the side as well. He doesn't say anything. You think he might be the secondary priest. And Jolly will get as far as she can for the moment. She also will dash. And double check her stuff. Okay. Ori. Giant hand.
Yes. If that dude's still there, hand smash again.
Whack-a-mole.
Yep. 28.
Holy shit! He gets juiced.
Okay, so that is
A lot.
Hold on. That's 5d8 at maximum. Plus another 5d8. So roll me 5d8. Plus 40.
The birthday's going strong. How many crits is that?
Yeah.
3, 4?
It's been 3 crits and 1, but it's always been like either it's one or the other. Like it's gonna be the 20 or it's gonna be the 1. There hasn't been much in between.
Believe in the birthday crits.
Yeah. Yay, birthday crits.
58 damage. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
You don't need any of those
boy.
in between numbers. 20 and 1 are all you need.
Or he's like, it's clobbering time.
D20? Nah, D2.
It's my favorite time.
Let's see if I can do this. I can. Represents character now. Where are your controls?
And moving up. Or 30 feet.
Can you move the hand at all?
Let me see. Nope.
Ah, there you go.
Nope.
Okay, now you should.
Yes, haha. Okay.
It is a size large. You know, I've known about Bigby's hand for a long time. You're the first person that's made me have to learn Bigby's hand. So what is happening? These guys, they're gonna drop their bows for the moment and start attacking. What's your bonus to your sword? Koya, a 21 and a 15.
21 yes, 15 no.
Booker. A 19 and a 10.
19 hits. Sadly. Wait. Damn.
You're hasted, aren't you?
I am, but my haste puts me to 19.
Oh.
38. 13 to Koya. 11 to Booker. So these two start trying to hit you. This one's gonna get right here. This one come around here. These two start trying to attack Bigby's hand. Bigby's hand has an AC of 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one hit. That's 2 hit. 3 and 4. Total damage. Everything that starts firing at it. Amongst these guys.
Get my calculator.
Okay.
Yes.
Your turn.
So these guys in front of us are still causing problems. And these spikes here are not spires, they're towers.
I'm sorry, what?
The spike here.
Yeah, that's like a
this
big
is like
arch that goes up to the middle of the tower.
Yeah, so it's like a big tower that Booker can't move through. I mean, I guess Booker will... He's gonna stay put and just try to attack this dude to death. So we're gonna swing with the Psy Blade. 22 to hit. For 12 damage. We're gonna swing one more time with the Psy Blade for the second attack. For 23. For 13 damage. And then we're gonna swing once with Blood Drinker for 28 for 12 damage.
That'll do it.
Yay!
Dead? Gone?
Yep.
One down?
One down.
Hey,
One down.
Let's fucking go.
Booker will shred this dude, and he is going to use all of his haste speed to fucking zip up here. He'll close in on the guy right here being harassed by the Bigby hand.
This is the guy that's been being beat up though so far. It's a juror.
Oh, okay. Then he'll have to close in on this one because he can't quite make it to the second guy because he only has 60 move speed. Haste doubles it, right? It doesn't give you a flat amount.
Yeah, it doubles it, I think.
It's double.
Okay. It doubles, not adds. Cool. So yeah, that is basically as far as Booker can get. And I'm not going to use a bonus action yet.
Okay, now your turn then?
Yeah.
Okay.
10-foot step. And jab with pointy end of stick.
Kill.
Where did it go? First attack.
That'll just hit.
Blunt end.
That will miss.
Extra attack.
That will also miss, unfortunately.
And that is me.
Button.
Bunk. Let me see. $17?
Will hit.
Oh shit. It's going to be 5 plus 5, that's 10 bludgeoning. I'm not done. Con save. Oh wait, no, sorry. Not con save. Hold on. I deal... one more necrotic.
They should have a con save from one of your auras, though, right?
Yes, but that's on their turn?
Okay,
Yes,
so
when they start their turn.
they've already gone, so.
Yeah. They don't really have a turn, you know?
What is the VC? I've rolled it. What is this? Not roll.
16.
Yeah, that's a fail.
Yes.
I would also remind you, this one did technically go down within your aura.
Okay, hold on. Forget the fucking con save. That's a reaction. And I use a reaction. Fungal infestation, the corpse. Necromancy time. This is the one that button crash landed on, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, that's 11 damage, 1 zombie. End turn.
And then go ahead and roll your damage for the failed con save. For your, unless you didn't do that because it was their turn. Their turn's over.
Yeah, that's used. No, that's a reaction, and I need to use a reaction to get zombie. I'd rather get zombie.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
As you see the corpse go down and then stagger back up to his feet beside you, Trixie, you can hear shouting of Booker charging towards another warrior deeper into the temple. And behind you, or technically in front of you from the way you're facing, you see Jadali is kind of struggling her way up the rocky terrain, skirt hiked up in her hands. And she looks absolutely disgusted by something. But she's not said anything yet. Trixie, your turn.
Is there a way to tell? Like, is she looking anywhere in particular?
Past you. There's something going on in the temple that she is not pleased by.
Would Trixie be strong enough to pick up Jadali?
You'd have to roll me an athletics check, and you'd lose a little bit of your fly speed.
That's fine. You guys cool with taking care of this guy? And we get the princess up to be seen?
The button just raises zombie as you say this.
Got it. Trixie will fly over, which I assume will attack of opportunity, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
Motherfucker.
Look,
Okay.
you have such a high AC, Mitch.
It's not that high. It's only 20.
Only 20. Only 20.
Only
And I have one of the lowest HPs in the party.
Don't worry, this is one of the weaker enemies. These warriors don't hit nearly as hard as the other ones do. Should be a long sword. Dropped his bow. That's this and these. That's 11 damage.
11, okay.
And I should ask, pause for a second. I'm assuming none of you have resistance to slashing and or radiant damage.
Nope.
Oh, no.
I have resistance to radiant, and then my slashing damage goes down by 2.
Okay. So you will be taking less damage if you get hit by the weapons, Ori.
Hooray!
Because these are doing slashing and radiant damage. Go ahead, Trixie.
That would be... I'll just say 20 for simplicity. Get 2 Jadali. Oh, Your Highness. Buckle up. And she'll wrap her arms underneath her, kind of holding her like from behind.
Mm-hmm.
And like arms under her armpit, holding it up, kind of like a kind of opposite of like roller coaster things that go over your head, but opposite. Arms up.
Long cat style.
And so that was 20. How much does it remove?
It will take 15 feet off your flag. Carry her.
Okay, so 20, 35. So I can only get 10. But I want to stay away from the dude. So I'm gonna move her over here.
You get a rather undignified little noise and a little bit of disgruntled noise from Jidali, but she doesn't resist you in the moment. It's more of just, well, you've heard this type of noise before when you've tried to pick people up that are not thrilled about it.
Don't get used to it. Buttoned. Actually, I have a question. Could I use some mitts on her, actually? Because that would get her farther. That would get her all the way up here.
You could, but I would caution you about getting her someplace independently.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, fair enough.
Because she has fully admitted that she has some martial training, but that is her brother's thing and not her.
Got it.
Me being the kind DM.
Thank you. That'll be my turn then.
As you pick her up and start to move her, tending to fly her into the temple, the priest that started shouting has continued. The Emperor has finally ascended. His spirit is one with Zarshus. His firstborn is ascending the throne, and yet you defile this place. And let me see here what you got. Are you close enough? No. Oh, you're lucky, Booker. Finn, what you doing?
Well, Finn is gonna chase after Booker. So let's see, a dash will get me right about there. Oi, wait up!
Okay. What are you doing? Is it just the dash and that's it?
Yep.
Okay. And you'll have Jidali's turn be the last one, because Charlie needs to head out. And Jidali, she is picked up by you, Trixie. She, you feel her kind of squirm and try to adjust in such a way that she feels a little bit more comfortable, and also that she feels a little more dignified. And she reaches her arms up and kind of grabs yours and kind of pushes herself up a little bit, so she is not quite being held by her armpits, but she's kind of holding herself up a little bit more too. And it's a little uncomfortable to you, but you also have to give her a little bit of credit. She's not complaining and kicking and screaming. And she just kind of inclines her head backwards to speak over her shoulder to you. Get me to the dais. If they see me, I might be able to do something.
As you wish. It'll be a bit hairy to get there, though.
Well, if you get close enough, I might return the favor. You feel just a little bit of magic start to bubble up inside her and around you. You don't know exactly what it is, but she's preparing something. And with that, Ori, you'll be starting us off next time.
Oh boy.
Now stay at this heightened level of emotional engagement for 2 weeks.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank y'all for playing. Hopefully
Yeah,
it was
thank you for
entertaining.